Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. I'm still healing from my wisdom teeth removal yesterday. So it kind of is a little bit more painful today. So if I'm talking weird a little bit, that's why. But yeah, I have a few big topics that I want to touch on. We got some good comments, and I wanted to touch on these two comments because I think it's going to cause a very interesting discussion down below in the comment section, because you have to keep in mind that if you have ideas, if you have thoughts, share them, because Ecomi is always watching and you can see one of your ideas implemented. That's why we're at a stage where Ecomi is down to earth. They're constantly interacting with the community. They're constantly taking feedback and actually applying this feedback and changing things. Like, so many ideas have actually been used and changed, like even randomizing addition numbers. That was talked about one week. The next week they had already had added that in. Like, this is the level that we're at. We're at the level where we can bring change that makes sense. Obviously, a lot of people focus when they talk about change. A lot of people focus too heavily on the token, and you cannot logically change a token if you don't know how many tokens are going to be needed. Like, if you need Veve to be fully functional. You need to know what you're going to need tokens for, how many tokens is going to be burned. Like, you need much more information for it to make sense. I know everybody's panicking about their investment and wants it to move as fast as possible, but I want it to move right. I don't want them to wipe out half the tokens, then can't add in a bunch of features because it will burn too many tokens or something. They can't do certain utility and things like that that can really boost this project. I don't want them to do that and then put themselves in a tough spot because they did something stupid just to cater to investors. So I want Veve done right. That way it's going to work like a well-oiled machine, and then they can figure out how to wipe out tokens if they need to. So with that being said, make sure you leave some feedback and advice, because it could be seen by somebody with some juice, man, and we could see it. So yeah, before we jump into it, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on notifications so you stay updated with everything going on Veve and Ecomi. And let's jump into it. So the first comment that we're going to touch on a little bit here is from Harley Giles. He said, can you make a video on how mass adoption will happen with Veve? As I see potentially many kids getting on this platform in the future, but obviously won't have $90 in their pockets to buy these NFTs, as many NFTs are being sold for this price when they drop. Do you see Veve making cheaper NFTs so kids can buy, trade, and stuff like that? Thank you for all your amazing efforts and informative content once again. So that being said, a lot of these brands that's been released up until this point, it's really brands for older people. Like, it's brands for older people. I think before they attract a bunch of kids, they have to get through the beta stage. They have to get through the building the app stage and things like that. So I don't think now is a good representation of what it's going to be like when they're starting to market to kids more aggressively. So or they're trying to build their children audience more aggressively. I think right now this is the content that they're being built, so that they're building up, so that when they start adding these crazy brands, none of this is confirmed, by the way, but let's say they start adding Shrek, they start adding How to Train a Dragon, actually some of these were confirmed at some points, but we ain't gonna get into that. Once they actually start building these releasing these brands, I feel like we're going to be in a different place. We're going to be in a completely different place when they start actually catering to children. Right now they're catering to adults. That way, when a child actually downloads the app, the adults can actually look on it, be like, okay, these are a bunch of brands that I recognize. It has Marvel, they have Warner Bros, they have all of this stuff, so I trust it. I'm a fan of this now, and my child is a fan of this. So I think the content right now is really to cater to it's mainly to cater to the adults, because obviously the adults is going to be funding the children. So now the adults have a ton of content, so they can explore this and see that it's legit, it's the real thing. They can dig into it, get information, and then we have the trust of the parents. So the trust of the children comes easy. All the children just has to like it. The children has to like it, and the parents already love it because it has so many old school brands that we know and love and trust. So I think that when it comes down to when they're going to start marketing for kids, I think that they're going to make stuff like as the Mormoconos, all the unicorns and stuff like that. That stuff is affordable. That stuff is very affordable. Now, obviously, kids is going to want stuff like Iron Man, Thor, and stuff like that, and that's why I think we have a unique opportunity, because obviously that stuff is going to go and start selling for crazy amounts of money. Same with some of the Batmans, but what I'm envisioning is going into the VVverse and being able to rent these things out. They've already said we can build businesses. They said we can buy land and build things on top of this land. I think that you're going to have people renting stuff out, and yeah, some people may be renting it out for a ridiculous amount of money or for short periods of time. But then you can have people like you who you think about the kids, you actually care about the kids, so you make your renting NFTs a lot more affordable, so kids can come to you and rent out these NFTs to enjoy the VVverse experience. But that's going to require gamification. That's going to require more content. And that's why I always say this is all about content. Like, people worry about the price, people worry about the wrong things, in my opinion. This is all about content. And then, like, I made a video where I was talking about one of my biggest concerns for VV is are they going to have enough content? And people were just like, oh, they can just boost the edition numbers. That's not really going to help what I'm talking about. The issue is when I say content, every single pixel in the VVverse, like, if you saw how big the Fortnite map is or the GTA map is, those are huge. Those are absolutely huge. So all of that has to be designed, and all of that is content. All the accessories, all the cars, all the upgradables. Like, if you want to get rims, if you want to get a new body color on your car, if you want to get a new cape for Superman, if you want to get, like, I don't know, like, if you want to get different colored chairs and stuff in your showrooms, like, all of this stuff is content. And if it takes them 3 weeks or maybe months to make this, the Ghostbusters, the latest Ghostbusters trap, where they do all these animations, cool sound effects, if it takes them 3 weeks just to do that, then who the heck is working on all that other content? So that's why I say that the only thing that I'm worried about when it comes to VV is the content. Like, how many developers do you need to realistically be able to push out NFTs and then push out NFTs at a faster rate? Because remember, they said we were going to get two drops 2 days a week. So basically 4 drops total weekly. That's what they said they were shooting for. They said they wanted like 2 drops on Tuesdays and 2 drops on Thursdays. One in the morning, one towards later in the day. On Tuesdays and Thursdays. So to get to a point where you're releasing that type of content, NFTs, super high quality, animated and all that stuff, and still being able to build content for the VVverse, I think that's going to be a very, very, that's going to be a tough problem to solve. But once they get that down, and once we can get the content to where we need it to be, I feel like that's when we're going to attract the kids, because just collecting is not going to interest kids at all. Well, not for the long term, because then you're going to get bored. You're going to be bored until drop days and stuff like that. So that's how I think it's going to go. That's how I think one of the big solutions to that is you renting your NFTs out to children, and renting it out so kids can enjoy the VVverse and enjoy some of the perks of having these NFTs without actually having to pay insane amounts of money. Or you could just have guys out here doing charity who has a bunch of NFTs already. But I seriously doubt that that's going to happen with these assets. But yeah, man, I mean, you have people who are really in it for the kids, and really do want to see the kids have a great time and great experience. A lot of parents in this community. So a lot of parents is going to look at it like, how would I want this to be for my children? Like, a lot of parents are going to think of it that way, and you're going to do things like create a whole businesses catered to children and stuff like that. So I think that that's going to be left up to the community to do, and I think that it's going to get done. Like, being able to make some affordable NFTs, at least for rent, and maybe be able to rent them out for a year or rent them out for a few months or whatever, because kids have short attention spans. Sometimes kids like to play with certain toys and stuff for years. These days, it's so many new with VV especially, so much new stuff is coming out. They probably going to get tired of the old NFT within a couple of months and be on to the next new released NFT that has some type of gamification to it. So I think that's going to be a big deal. I feel like that's the direction we're going to go in. We're going to see them go in when it comes down to the actual getting kids and focusing on kids and catering to kids and stuff like that, and how this is going to be how it's going to get mass adopted to children. I feel like once there's more content, it's going to attract more children from the fact that it's more content and more things for children to do. And then as far as making it affordable, I think that's going to be left up to the community and the people who actually care about the children. So yeah. That being said, let's move on to the last topic that I wanted to touch on. Shajareem, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. asked, can you explain more on how people with no knowledge in crypto would be staking or holding them? From what I understand, when people are buying things in Veve, it will simply burn tokens. Are you saying they might in the future work on game mechanics that will have them take some action in game that will stake coins in the back end or something? So when it comes down to people with no knowledge in crypto and investing in Omi, one of the biggest things that they have already said is on the table and that they're considering doing is, for instance, having you, like, you're going to be able to buy Omi with a credit card. Like, that's one thing that you cannot do right now. You can buy gems with a credit card. You can buy gems. You can't buy Omi. You're going to be able to buy Omi, and for certain drops, like let's say that they're going to release a golden Ultraman or something, a golden Iron Man. Let's say they're going to release a golden Iron Man Ultra Rare, and the only way that you can take part in this golden Iron Man Ultra Rare drop is if you buy $1,000 worth of Omi. So at that point, you got to buy $1,000 worth of Omi, stake it. But the thing is, staking is obviously a crypto term. They could just say it's a buy-in fee, but maybe a deposit, because a deposit, you technically still hold that Omi, but you have to deposit it for a little bit, and then you're going to get that back at a later date. But the buy-in is still $1,000, and you have to buy in order to get access to the NFT. So then you have people who agree to stake their Omi without necessarily knowing that it's crypto related at all or anything like that. All they're really doing is buying in, locking their Omi away for a little bit so they can get access to this golden Iron Man. And then they still go and buy the Iron Man. So stuff like that is how people who don't know anything about crypto, Omi, or any of that stuff is going to be investing in Omi. And that's how it's going to be beneficial for us. It's not just about burns. It's about the utility that comes with the token. This token utility, especially the things that they're suggesting and saying that they're going to do, it's very, very powerful. Like what they're saying that they're going to do with the token utility is insanely powerful, because that is a prime example of what can happen. If you explain to the consumer that you have to do a deposit for this, but you will get that deposit back. You're going to get your $1,000 worth of Omi back at some point in the future, but for right now, you have to deposit it, and you got to deposit it for 24 or 12 months. Deposit it for 12 months, and then you get access to this cool ultra rare Iron Man that's going to be worth a lot of money. Like, honestly, like if they release something like a gold Iron Man, that's probably going to be worth a hell of a lot more than that $1,000 investment. So you pay $1,000 for that, then you get access to an Iron Man that you're potentially going to buy for $100, and then in a few months from there, that's going to be worth, like, what, a gold Iron Man, for example, could probably run easily like $5,000. So you just made $5,000 for spending $1,100. So yeah, I mean, that's a good deal. And that's something that's going to cater to Veve fans and not just crypto fans. So if they do a lot of stuff like this where they really start to include Omi and really create a bunch of utility for the token, you're easily going to have a bunch of Veve people dominating and holding the majority of the tokens when it comes down to Omi. And that's why that's also the biggest reason that the bear market and stuff like that will not impact Veve. Because let's say they do one of these big events. Let's say they release something huge, something insane, like Pokemon. Let's say Pokemon. Let's say that they announce Pokemon during the bear market, and then they tell the Veve fans, like, you can already buy with your credit card. You can buy Omi with your credit card, all that stuff. All this utility is added in at this point. Let's say they announce Pokemon and they start dropping stuff, and they make a bunch of the Pokemon stuff buy-in. You need to buy into it and stake your Omi. Like, during a bear market, people will be buying the crap out of this token, staking it, and none of those will be Veve fans. They will, like, the crypto people are going to be scared, following Bitcoin, doing whatever crypto people want to do. The Veve people are going to be going crazy about Pokemon because it's an actual business tied to Omi. So this is how crypto people don't have to know anything about Omi, and it's really going to be a huge benefit to the Omi token. So hopefully I explained it well. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. My bad if this video wasn't as polished as usual. It's kind of hard to think completely straight and be in pain at the same time. So yeah, shout out to y'all, man, for sticking through. Let me know y'all thoughts in the comment section about it. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace out, Joe.